So if you want to know where the Raleigh Triangle area is going next and where the next growth areas are going to be, this video is for you. Because yes, while it's true the Raleigh area is growing, the real story is exactly where that growth is happening. Today we're going to give you 3 up-and-coming areas that are high growth, under the radar, and most people are sleeping on, and it's going to give you the opportunity to get there early. We're also going to give you specific areas and communities so you have a clear picture of exactly what it's like to live there. This is all going to be insider information, not the stuff you can find on AI, and certainly not the stuff that a real estate agent that sells 1 or 2 houses a year would know anything about. The first area we need to tell you about is the Wendell, Clayton, Zebulon's part of the triangle. This area is to the south and east of Raleigh, and it's where the triangle is really growing in a big giant way. I mean, big communities, big developments, and a lot of big changes. This is also the area that's seeing some of the largest population growth in our entire region. These 3 cities, Wendell, Zebulon, and Clayton, have a combined population of about 67,000 people, but in the next 10 years, it's expected to grow to over 115,000 people, which makes it one of the fastest growing sections in the entire United States. And we're already seeing the results of a lot of that population growth. Strong developments happening, new restaurants, new shopping, mega neighborhoods popping up, and a lot of infrastructure like roads are being developed as we speak. So what's driving all the growth in Wendell, Zebulon, and Clayton? Well, there's a ton of reasons, but the first one, and probably the biggest one, is that this area has something that a lot of areas of the triangle in the Raleigh area don't have: land to grow. Most areas, like say Raleigh itself and Cary, are struggling right now because there's no available land to grow. So naturally the growth is happening in some of the outer bands of the triangle, including this Wendell, Zebulon, Clayton area. Best of all, even though these towns are experiencing rapid growth, there's still a ton of land out there, still a lot of availability for more things to happen. And because there's a lot of available land out there, the neighborhood developers are able to build new neighborhoods. And by new neighborhoods, I mean obviously new construction, but I mean new style neighborhoods, the kind people are looking for, with a lot of green space, a lot of neighborhood amenities, a lot of open floor plans designed for the way people are living right now. And of course, this is tremendously enticing for a lot of people that are looking to buy in their next home. The second big reason why we're seeing so much growth out in Wendell, Zebulon, and Clayton is home value. You can get a ton of home for your dollar. For example, in Raleigh, median home price right now is coming in around $425,000. In Clayton, median home price is only $325,000. Wendell, only about $370,000. And best of all, in Zebulon, median home price is coming in at a really, really amazing $315,000 currently. And on top of all that, home sizes tend to be larger in Clayton, Zebulon, and Wendell. You're just getting more home for your money on generally a larger lot than you would find in a comparable home in, say, Raleigh, Cary, Apex, etc. And in many cases, you're gonna end up being able to buy a newer home. And so let's take a deeper dive. Why are so many people choosing to live in this Wendell, Zebulon, Clayton area? Well, first one is jobs. Definitely one of the huge advantages of this area is you can get to Raleigh, Research Triangle Park as well very, very quickly. Super easy to live in these bedroom communities and travel in, commute in to Raleigh and Research Triangle Park. But there's also a lot of people right now who are continuing to have the opportunity to work from home, telecommute. They're not having to go into work as often. So by not having to be at work, physically at work, you're able to live further out and get more home for your money. And so that, of course, has definitely been driving a lot of the growth that we're seeing in these 3 cities. But as well, there's also some major employers that are right there in that area. In Clayton, for example, you've got Novo Nordisk and Cattail, along with many others, and a lot of opportunities in the healthcare industry right there in Clayton. Bottom line, for many buyers, this Wendell, Clayton, Zebulon area is super enticing because you have a lot of opportunity for jobs, a lot of opportunity in general, without feeling like you're super detached from the rest of the Triangle community. The third reason why this area is absolutely exploding, and we've kind of touched on it a little bit already, and that is location. It looks like on a map that you're way out there if you're thinking about moving to Wendell or Zebulon or Clayton, but that couldn't be anything further from the truth. Driving from Wendell to Raleigh is only going to take you about 20 to 25 minutes, where Zebulon to Raleigh is about 26 minutes and Clayton to Raleigh is only about 27 minutes. So we're not talking hours and hours behind the wheel here. In other words, you can live outside of Raleigh without having to sacrifice all the great things that you can do inside of Raleigh. I also need to tell you about all the great amenities that are in and around that Zebulon, Clayton, Wendell area. This whole area is transformed. It used to be that you would basically go to work, drive home, pull in your garage, watch TV, have dinner, go to bed, and rinse and repeat. Things have rapidly changed in this area, and definitely for the better. You now have some really great planned communities right there in that area with things like neighborhood pools, golf courses, walkable parks in these cities. And as I said earlier, there's new neighborhoods sprouting up all the time that are giving people the concept of living that they want today, with a lot of inside-outside living. These are things you just simply wouldn't find in a neighborhood that was built, say, 20 years ago. Plus, there's a lot of things to do out in the towns as well. All three of these towns have annual festivals with food trucks, things for the kids, really great community activities that really bring about a lot of great community spirit. As well, all three of these towns have some really great outdoor recreation. They all have great community parks, and both Clayton and Wendell have super easy access to the Neuse River. As far as the towns themselves go, Clayton has a really nice, charming, established downtown, lots of nice shops and restaurants, as well as breweries and a good number of local events that happen there. Wendell has a really cool, nice downtown, very historic, charming. We talk about the Wendell downtown on this channel all the time. Just about anything you can imagine is there, from a brew pub to an ice cream parlor. Really great, and definitely adds to the quality of life in Wendell. And Zebulon is a little bit early in the growth cycle. There's still some really good stuff going on down there, restaurant-wise, shopping-wise, but it's definitely more of a ground floor opportunity than the other two. But the flip of that is, for buyers who want a quiet, easy lifestyle, Zebulon definitely hits the top of the list for these three towns, as well as most of the triangle at large. We talked about earlier about some really great new construction going on in this area. Let's focus on a couple of really prominent neighborhoods in this Wendell, Zebulon, Clayton area. And of course, we have to start with Wendell Falls. This is the original mega neighborhood in this area that really completely transformed everything about this part of the triangle. Back before Wendell Falls, people had no concept of ever wanting to live out in this region, and Wendell Falls single-handedly has drawn a lot of attention for people. This is absolutely a destination community. People are not buying in Wendell Falls just to buy a house. They're buying the whole lifestyle, which includes the clubhouse with the cafe and the pool and the gym and the meeting rooms and the sidewalks and all of the pocket parks and everything great that the developer has put into this neighborhood. We have talked about Wendell Falls since basically the beginning of our YouTube channel here. It is one of our favorite neighborhoods. We've helped a ton of people buy in here. And in fact, 2 members of our team own a house in Wendell Falls. They've become like the king and queen of Wendell Falls resale. Really great neighborhood. I can't speak highly enough of this neighborhood. It fits so many lifestyles, so perfect for so many people. The next neighborhood that's really driving growth in this Wendell, Clayton, Zebulon area, and a neighborhood we've talked quite a bit about on this channel, is Ponder. Ponder is basically Wendell Falls Part 2. The developers and the builders from Wendell Falls have now gone out to Ponder, and Ponder is between Wendell and Zebulon. Definitely going to have that growth trajectory we think that Wendell Falls had, and because the people behind it are super successful with Wendell Falls, it's going to have all the amenities you could imagine from Wendell Falls, and again, will be super successful. This ended up to be an amazing place to live, and now prices have gotten so high, or the neighborhood's been built out, and then they end up losing out on the opportunity. We've already had a ton of interest and a ton of calls about Ponder based on our viewers here on the YouTube channel. If you want to know more information about this Wendell Falls Part 2, reach out to us. We'll be happy to fill you in and get you some of the details. And not just in Wendell and Zebulon, but Clayton also has some really cool neighborhoods coming about. one I absolutely can't wait to tell you about is Cattail. This is one of our favorite neighborhoods from one of our favorite builders. This neighborhood is gonna have 50 home sites with acreage from about a half an acre all the way up to almost 3 acres. It's sitting on an 85-acre lake. It's gonna have a community clubhouse and pool right there with lakefront views. Prices start around $485,000 in this neighborhood, and you can get single-family homes with between 3 and 4 bedrooms and 2 to 4 bathrooms. Square footages range from about 1,900 square feet to almost 4,000 square feet for that big giant house. Also, there's Flowers Plantation. This is a mega neighborhood that's been going on for quite a few years there in Clayton. Tons of growth has happened, lots of commercial activity right there in the neighborhood. There's a lot of houses already there. The neighborhood's a lot built out, so you're talking a lot of resale, but there are some scattered opportunities still in the neighborhood, new construction wise. The best thing about Flowers Plantation is it works for a ton of different lifestyles. Everything from first-time home buyers all the way up to downsizers, empty nesters. There's even a 55+ neighborhood that is sold out, but we hear they're about to start a new 55+ community right there in Flowers Plantation. So still some growth going on, and it's really an exciting area. We've helped several families find their dream home in Flowers Plantation. It's got a really great quality of life because of all the things there is to do there, including all the shopping and restaurants that have kind of sprouted up nearby. So really cool. But there is still one last big piece of Flowers Plantation that we need to share with you. And we've touched on it a little bit on this channel in the past, but it's the waterfront at Flowers Plantation. It's a new urbanism concept where you're going to be able to have lakeside dining and shopping. Some apartments are gonna be there, townhomes, a hotel. Lots of really cool stuff going on in this area. It's going up right now construction-wise. Can't wait to go visit it and film it for you guys. So before we tell you about the next section that's experiencing some crazy growth, we have people like you reach out to us every single day from here on our YouTube channel looking for our help to buy or sell a home in the Raleigh Triangle area. And of course, we would love to help you as well. We are the top real estate team in the entire Triangle, specializing in relocating buyers coming from out of the area. So we know what it takes to help you find your dream home here in Raleigh. And again, give us a call or text us at the information below, and we'll be happy to help you out as well. The next big region of the Triangle, Raleigh area, that is having massive growth is the Fuquay-Varina Angier section of the Triangle. This is the area that's south of Raleigh and is seeing absolutely some of the fastest growth that we've ever seen around in our area. Currently, there are about 54,000 people that live out in this area, but we're seeing those numbers rise very rapidly. This area is growing at a rate of about 5.97% annually and has grown a whopping 51% since 2020. That's just crazy numbers. Fuquay-Varina is already well into its growth curve. It's one of the most popular towns in the entire Triangle area, and certainly a town we talk about all the time here on the channel. Long-term fans of this channel know we have been huge fans of Fuquay-Varina since really the early days of our channel here. We've sold probably 20 or 30 homes in Fuquay over the last few years, and our home buyers that we've helped place into Fuquay are absolutely loving the whole concept of it, all of the great amenities, and of course that is part of what's driving all of this growth. And on the flip side of this, Angier feels more like a ground floor opportunity. There's not a lot of things on the ground right now as far as things to do, but neighborhoods are sprouting up, and that's going to mean that growth of restaurants and shopping and whatnot is just around the corner. Angier would definitely be my pick out of all of the towns in this list for the best ground floor opportunity where you can get in at a really good value and get a lot of great rate of return with a really great location down the road. So what exactly is driving all this growth in Fuquay-Varina and Angier? Well, this part of the Triangle, this south of Raleigh area, is seeing tremendous growth. And of course, one reason is because they've got the available land that the northern part of the Triangle just doesn't have anymore. Very similar to what we said about Wendell, Zebulon, Clayton. People are moving out to Fuquay-Varina and Angier because they want bigger lots, bigger houses, a better price relative to what they're going to get in Raleigh. and not have that bad of a commute. Another thing driving the growth out in Fuquay-Varina and Angier is the home values. We've kind of touched on that a little bit a second ago, but let's go into details again. As a reminder, median home price in Raleigh is $425,000 currently. In Fuquay-Varina, median home price is $430,000, but that number is skewed quite a bit because there's a lot more new construction in Fuquay-Varina that's of a bigger house on a bigger lot. So that's naturally going to skew the price just a little bit higher than what you would have seen in Raleigh, where you're getting mostly resale. And of course, those resale homes are older homes. In Angier, however, median home price is coming in at $340,000, $80,000 less than what you're seeing in Raleigh. So again, that's driving a lot of that growth in Angier, is the fact that you can get a great home for relatively less money than you can find most anywhere else in the Triangle. The number 3 reason why this area is seeing so much growth is location. Again, just like Zebulon, Wendell, and Clayton, you can get into Raleigh fairly quickly. For example, Fuquay-Varina to either Raleigh or Cary is only going to take you about 30 minutes. Whereas from Angier to either Raleigh or Clayton, you're looking at a drive of only about 36 minutes. This makes it super easy to live in these two communities and drive in to work in Raleigh, RTP, or wherever else in the Triangle. Another big reason, jobs. As we said, a lot of people are living in Fuquay-Varina and Angier, commuting in daily to Raleigh, Research Triangle Park, or even Fayetteville in the opposite direction for work, but they're able to have that quality of life that you can experience in Fuquay-Varina and in Angier, not have to pay all the crazy prices that you would expect to pay in Cary and Raleigh. And of course, there's a lot of work from home people. I would say probably 20 of the 25, 30 people that we have placed in Fuquay-Varina were work from home. So they didn't really worry particularly much about a daily commute. They telecommuted. They were able to enjoy all the quality of life and stuff you can find in Fuquay-Varina. Plus, this area has a lot of medium and small independent businesses. Great opportunity for jobs right there in Angier, right there in Fuquay-Varina. But definitely, if you are looking to work for a major employer, you're going to likely have to take that 30 to 36 minute commute into Raleigh or the Research Triangle Park from Fuquay-Varina and Angier. Another thing driving the growth we're seeing here in Fuquay-Varina and Angier is all of the great amenities that these two areas have to offer. Fuquay-Varina in particular has some really great downtown amenities and great downtown feel, community parks, lots of great events, things that really drive the character of Fuquay-Varina and really have made it a very, very compelling place to live. Angier, on the other hand, has really maintained that small town feel, which is really perfect for people that want a slow, easy, quiet, easygoing pace of life. It's very much small town Americana there in Angier. Again, growing, but still retaining that small town feel. Fuquay-Varina, though, in particular, has sort of hit that sweet spot. It's got that charm of a small town, but it's also got a lot of the amenities that larger cities have got as well. Lots of restaurants and shopping. It's really a very compelling story. It's a lot of what buyers are looking for today. The great feeling, relaxed concept of living, but also all of the great amenities like Target and grocery stores, etc., that you can find in some of the bigger towns. Plus, there are a lot of things to do right there in those two towns. Fuquay-Varina in particular has got an amazing downtown. We talk about it all the time on this channel, with lots of great things to do and more things coming all the time. It really, really feels active, alive, with a lot of local restaurants and shops and a lot of things coming that really add to the vitality, really, of downtown Fuquay-Varina. There's also parks and recreation areas and all kinds of really cool outside things that really, really add as well to Fuquay. And of course, again, Angier has parks as well, but it's definitely main focus is that it's that small town America feel, slower pace of life for people that are craving that sort of thing. But it's not just the downtowns and all of the stuff that the two towns have to offer that's bringing people in. It's really some really amazing, compelling neighborhoods that are drawing people in to Fuquay-Varina and Angier as well. One of our favorite neighborhoods in this area is Serenity. This is a large master plan residential community right outside of Fuquay-Varina. It blends natural, tranquil settings with all of the modern conveniences that most people are looking for in a new construction neighborhood. This neighborhood was designed for a broad range of buyers, everything from first-time home buyers to downsizers. And there's even an active adults 55 plus community right there in Serenity. This neighborhood sits on over 550 acres, of which 40% of that land has been set aside for green space. We're talking walking paths, creeks, trails, and natural areas. The kind of outdoor features that people are really looking for these days. There's also some really great amenities right there in the neighborhood. First up, Serenity Hall. This is a large clubhouse. It has gathering spaces for community and social activities, really like the icon of the neighborhood. There's also the swimming hole, which is the outdoor junior-sized Olympic swimming pool right there beside Serenity Hall. There's play space for children, dog parks for the doggos, and over 3 miles of nature trails, hammock parks, open fields, and scenic green spaces. There's even an old-style central post office right there in Serenity, which definitely adds to the charm. Serenity has become one of the most popular neighborhoods that our YouTube viewers are reaching out to us for help on. We've already helped a good number of people start the process of building a home in Serenity, and I can attest that they have been very happy with how things are going so far. It's a really exciting neighborhood, one of our favorites. Also in the Fuquay-Varina area is Sunset Bluffs. This is a higher end community right near Sunset Lake. It's mostly built out, really popular. We have sold a couple of homes in this area in the last few years. This is a very amenity rich neighborhood with single family and townhomes with prices from about $400,000 all the way up to over $1 million. These homes have larger lots, upscale finishes, all the things that a discerning buyer is really gonna want. And Sunset Bluffs is a really great example of how Fuquay-Varina is not just growing larger, but is growing more diverse with lots of different options for lots of different buyers, including this neighborhood that has upscale amenities, upscale living, upscale houses for the luxury buyer. And so it's great to see all the different diversified growth that Fuquay-Varina is going through. And on the flip side of Fuquay-Varina that's sort of gotten more diversified, Angier, as we've said earlier in this video, is more of an up and coming opportunity. You're definitely seeing new construction pop up, but it's definitely more of a ground floor opportunity. It's definitely not as built out or as polished as Fuquay-Varina, but that's sort of the charm of it. You're getting in at the time when very few people know about it, and by the time Angier has fully developed, it's gonna end up to be too late. Angier has many great communities, some resale, but also some new construction that's sprouting up there. One of our favorite new construction neighborhoods is Honeycutt Oaks. This neighborhood has a community pool and bathhouse, is only 6 miles to downtown Fuquay-Varina, and only 20 miles to downtown Raleigh. These are single family homes with square footages ranging from about 1,500 square feet up to about 2,100 square feet. These homes have between 3 and 4 bedrooms and between 2 and 3.5 bathrooms. Prices currently are coming in around $230,000 up to about $575,000 for homes in this neighborhood. These are just a few of the neighborhoods in the Fuquay-Varina Angier area. We have a long compiled list that we're happy to share with you. Reach out to us. We'll be, again, happy to guide you through this process if Fuquay-Varina and Angier looks like a good fit for you. Next up on our list is an area that probably is seeing the most dramatic growth of anywhere in the Raleigh Triangle area, and probably anywhere in North Carolina. That's Pittsboro, Chatham County. This area is to the west of Apex and to the south of Chapel Hill. And again, this area is absolutely exploding in population. Chatham County currently has a population of around 83,000, and that number is growing rapidly. So what's driving all this massive growth in Pittsboro and Chatham County? Well, Chatham County has something that Wake County, where Raleigh is located and Cary's located, absolutely doesn't have, and that is plenty of available land. There are massive amounts of undeveloped land out in Chatham County, which is, again, a really easy drive from Chapel Hill and from Research Triangle Park and from Raleigh. It has become an amazing opportunity for growth and for a lot of developers. The major developers that are making this Chatham County, Pittsboro Engine Go is the developers behind Chatham Park. This is a mega development right there in Pittsboro that's absolutely completely transforming the entire area. It spans a whopping 8,500 acres, and when it's all complete, we're expecting between 22 and 27,000 residential units right there in Chatham Park. Needless to say, this neighborhood is an absolute game changer for not only Pittsboro, but the entire region as well. Chatham Park also has a brand new section to it. It's the Disney Asteria neighborhood. Storyliving by Disney is the brain trust behind this neighborhood. We've talked about Asteria a bit on this channel, and we're going to talk about it a bit further on this video, but that piece of the puzzle inside of Chatham Park is a huge deal. It put the whole complex on the national stage and really drew attention to Pittsboro and to Chatham County. In other words, Chatham Park is a development that's absolutely going to transform this whole area. It's drawing in a lot of people, not only to live in Chatham Park, but live in some other neighborhoods that are going to be coming up and sprouting up as we speak around Chatham Park. So why are so many people attracted to this Pittsboro Chatham Park area? Well, one obvious answer is there's some really great job opportunities there. For example, Wolfspeed is a major employer there in Chatham County. They are building a silicon carbide manufacturing facility that's expected to add an additional 1,800 jobs by 2030. In addition, VinFast electric car company is building a factory right there in the area, expected to come online in 2028, and it's expected to create an additional 7,500 jobs. Also, Toyota USA battery manufacturing plant is just a few miles up the street in Liberty, North Carolina, and that project is creating 5,300 jobs. And of course, beyond those large manufacturers we just talked about, there's a ton of small and medium-sized businesses in the Chatham County area, and as well, it's a super easy drive into Chapel Hill, Cary, Research Triangle Park, and Raleigh if you were commuting on a daily basis from your home in Chatham County. Pittsboro to RTP is only about a 40-minute drive, whereas you can get to Chapel Hill from Pittsboro in about 30 minutes, and you can get to Durham in about 40 minutes. In other words, relatively easy drive from Pittsboro into the major cities in the triangle right there nearby. There's also some really great amenities to talk about in the Pittsboro-Chatham County area that really are drawing people in and really causing a lot of this dramatic growth to happen. Jordan Lake State Recreational Park is super close nearby. It's got 14,000 acres of boating, swimming, camping, and just in general communing with nature. Also, there's the Night Farm Community Park. It has a splash pad, playground, and dog park. There's also access to the Hall River right there in Pittsboro. You can go hiking, kayaking, and boating in general right there on the Hall River. Downtown Pittsboro has a ton of historic shops, great restaurants, and great things to do down there. There's also a farmer's market that happens regularly right there in Pittsboro. And just recently coming online, Mosaic at Chatham Park is a live, work, play area where there's a ton of really great restaurants and shops right there in Chatham Park. Super easy to get to. These are all just some of the amenities that are really driving the growth that we're seeing in the Chatham County area. And in general, there's just a ton of things to do in this area that's driving people there. As I said, Pittsboro's got a really great downtown, one of the most charming downtowns in the entire Triangle region. It's filled with some really great shops and restaurants. There's a restaurant there that has some really cool recipes that they make from a restaurant in Chapel Hill when I was in school there that went out of business called the Rathskeller. This restaurant makes the recipes, so it's really cool for students and alumni from Chapel Hill to go down to Pittsboro to try these dishes out one more time. Just one example of some really cool stuff in downtown. Also, Farrington Village is another really amazing thing to do right there in the area. It's only about 10 minutes away from Pittsboro. Farrington Village is this amazing world-class destination. There's some really charming shops and restaurants and some really cool things to do. They even have a wedding barn there. The big claim to fame, however, is the Farrington House restaurant. This is a high-end, very luxurious experience, great restaurant, really well known in our area, and is considered one of the top restaurants in the Triangle area. Better make a reservation in advance. It's a hard ticket to get. And you can also stay at the Farrington House Inn. It's a really nice small boutique hotel right there on property. You can fill up your belly full of amazing food at the restaurant and then collapse back in your room and sleep the night away and have a great time with it. Other things to do in the area: Carolina Tiger Rescue. This is a really unique place to go visit. They have over 50 tigers that they've rescued from around the country, around the world, and it's only about 10 minutes from downtown Pittsboro and Chatham Park. There's also Starlight Mead Company, which is a local maker of meads right there in the area. For those folks that love mead, it is a great place to go. There's also live music and events all the time at the farmers market that we mentioned earlier. And the North Carolina State Zoo is only about 50 minutes away from Pittsboro. This is the State Zoo, one of the most impressive and largest in the entire country. Highly, highly recommend going. It's definitely a place that all kids that grew up in North Carolina go on a field trip to visit. Recommend you go as well. They have a massive savanna-like setting where you can see zebras and elephants and giraffes among many, many other animals there. It's really, really cool. These are just some of the activities that you can experience living in Pittsboro. This, again, is a very tranquil, very peaceful area to live in, but yet also not too terribly far away from other big cities in the Triangle. Definitely adds to the advantage of living in Pittsboro and Chatham County, and is definitely helping to spur the growth that we're seeing. Next up, let's talk about some of the new neighborhoods that are driving growth. And of course, we're going to talk about Chatham Park here. It's basically a city within a city. Again, 8,500 acres total, 22 to 27,000 residential units, but that's not all. There's also going to be millions of square feet of commercial, office, and retail space, as well as a ton of green space right there in the neighborhood. Amenities inside of Chatham Park include 36 miles of walking trails, plus a swim and pickleball facility right there in Chatham Park, as well as Night Farm Community Park, Mosaic, which we talked about earlier, that's going to be a great mix and is a great mix of restaurants and shops. The Chatham YMCA is inside Chatham Park, and a really nice co-working space called 79 West Innovation Hub. These are just some of the nice amenities right there in Chatham Park. And again, this is one of the most ambitious developments anywhere in the Triangle, if not anywhere in the country right now. And beyond being able to live in Mosaic, there's also other neighborhoods inside of this giant community. You have to sort of think about Chatham Park, as we said earlier, as kind of a city within a city. So beyond Mosaic, one of the big ones that is coming to Chatham Park is Del Webb at Chatham Park. It's a 55+ community that's currently under construction. It's going to have all of the amenities you'd expect from a Del Webb community, including the sidewalks and the giant indoor and outdoor pool with the workout room, full-time activities director. The list goes on and on and on. There's also Novi, which is the North Village in Chatham Park. All told, it's going to have over 600 homes in the neighborhood, which is going to have a regular section plus that Del Webb 55+ section we mentioned earlier. Also, the Vineyards at Chatham Park is already under construction and mostly built out right there in the area. All of this variety really, really matters because it just shows the neighborhood is not going to be super homogenous with one builder building a select set of plans. There's going to be varying opportunities for people of all ages and all levels of their life for where they want to live and how they want to live. This neighborhood is designed for active adults, move-up buyers, and really anyone who wants to live in a brand new master plan community where just about everything you could imagine that you would need is within a few steps away from your home. And of course, no conversation about Chatham Park would be complete without talking about Asteria, which is the Storyliving by Disney neighborhood. Asteria is the biggest headline among all the big headlines of Chatham Park. It's the kind of thing that makes people go, wait, what did you just say? Disney is coming to North Carolina? Yes, it's true. Disney is coming to North Carolina. They have a neighborhood build-out division called Storyliving by Disney. They already have one neighborhood in Rancho Mirage, California called Cotino that's well underway. Asteria is their second neighborhood. And yes, of course, while some people will move to Asteria because of Disney, because they're great Disney fans, don't expect to see Mickey Mouse walking down the street. It's not going to be that kind of vibe at all. It's definitely going to be much more subtle than that. There will be Disney employees full-time there on site, as activity directors to guide people through the process, to have enrichment programs that neighborhood residents can go enjoy, among all of the amazing amenities that the neighborhood has to offer. We've had a ton of people reach out to us from our channel here about Asteria, and we've developed a long list of contacts that we are providing information to about this neighborhood as it comes online. If you would like further information about Asteria, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to add you to the list, and as soon as we know more info, we'll be happy to share it with you. And as I said earlier, this is only one of 2 Disney story living neighborhoods in the entire United States, and in fact, the entire world. So it's really a big deal that this is coming to Pittsboro. Certainly shows that Disney, who certainly does their homework, believes in Pittsboro, believes in the Triangle, and believes in the growth that we're seeing here. And speaking of Asteria, we recently filmed a video, the top 3 mega neighborhoods that are coming online in the Raleigh area and will change Raleigh forever. These neighborhoods are gonna be an absolute game changer for the area. I'm talking giant community pools, pickleball courts, clubhouses, walking trails, lakes, fitness centers, on and on and on. And we talked about Asteria in great detail in that video. Click here to watch that video. I think you're really gonna like it. Like and subscribe, please, to the channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.